Welcome to this video series of interviews from different companies. And in all these series, we are discussing about the interviews and the process, which are either cracked by me or somebody else who wants to stay anonymous. But there is enough proof gathered that this interview is genuine, which I'll show you in this video also. And also, there is a note that all the answers discussed here are mostly correct, and I will explain both the perspectives, like what is the actual answer given by the interviewee and what is the most correct answer if that is not correct. And also, if you found that there is another most closest answer to what is discussed in this video, you can mention it in your comment section, and I will take it from there and update in the description section so that everybody else who watches the video, they'll know the updated and correct answers than what is discussed in this video. Previously, we have discussed the first round, which is technical. Now, we are going to discuss the second round, which is managerial round. And so far, I was told this is for people of experience from 2 to 6 years. But however, after going through the questions, I felt like um, these questions are more for this particular candidate having this much of experience. They are more related to a candidate who are looking for a lead role. But still, the candidate has cleared the interview. However, I feel that some of the answers are not answered appropriately, and I think candidate is selected because the panel knows that what to expect from the candidate. So, irrespective of the answers, she has been selected for this round as well. But however, I'll discuss both the versions, the version which candidate has explained and the version which I think is appropriate. Please do comment about your versions of answers for these questions so that we will have the best of the answers. Now let's move on to the question. A second round went for 40 minutes and it has a total of 11 questions. And let us start with the first question. So the first question is about explaining the framework that is implemented in your project. So I leave the question to you all so you guys can explain the framework, what you have worked on. But normally this is how it goes. Whatever is the framework, these are the things which you may need to mention it. For example, if you are taking the framework in Selenium and you have implemented using the page object model, then this is how the explanation shall go. And these are common factors in many of the frameworks. So you should be explaining how you are maintaining the objects and how you are separating from the test cases and how you are maintaining the test cases. You should be focusing on explaining uh, the reusable uh, methods which you have created. So in other words, it is also called as creating utilities for your project. And you should focus on explaining how you maintain reports and how do you maintain the data and how you separate them from test cases if you are separating them, or if it is embedded in the test, how you maintain the data and test cases together, and if there is any modularity that is followed, then you have to explain that as well. And how do you design your framework in line with the application? So the frameworks varies from application to application and you have to design it. Though these are the common factors, you will have a unique element that will differentiate your framework from the traditional frameworks. So though there are these traditional frameworks like keyword driven, data driven, behavior driven, and a combination of any of these, and you may have your own framework which is using a parts of these standard frameworks. So it can go however possible based on the requirement. So you should be clearly explaining that, and the questions further will depend on the framework based on how you are explaining normally. But in this case, the panel just asked this question and he moved on to the second question. And here we go this with the second question. So how do you reduce the execution time of an existing Selenium test suite, which is having 500 tests? So the question is only till this part. The answer goes as this by the candidate. So the candidate has explained like with the help of parallel execution. So she has explained like with the help of parallel execution, I can reduce the execution time of an existing Selenium test suite that is consisting of 500 test suites. So for example, if I have initiated parallel execution, um, you know, uh, in such a way that I have initiated 5 threads, each thread executing 100 test cases, then the execution time will be reduced 5 times. So that is what the candidate has explained, and this is the correct answer. But still, the panel has gone with uh, expecting a different answer. So he has asked again, reframe the question again. He asked the same question and he added this line. What sort of changes that needs to be done in the framework to achieve this lesser execution time? So he's not looking for clearly only the parallel execution part. He is also looking for some more explanation. So he is explaining from this perspective, like you have developed the framework already, you have done everything, but after that you wanted to reduce the execution time of the test suits which you have defined. Then in that case, what changes? Possibly you may need to do your existing framework. So that is what he reframed the question. But as per the candidate, she is not able to answer this question. She keep telling about the parallel execution part only. But however, I feel this could be the explanation, and this goes as this. So the framework is developed and now you wanted to reduce the execution time. So these are the possible areas that you may need to look into to make the changes. So what I will do is I will do changes for the object locator strategies. So what does it mean? So I would have used different object locator strategy like to identify the web elements. I would have used XPath, CSS locators. I would have used IDs. I would have used the names, class names, partial link, link text, etc. So I would have to review the locator strategies and I would try to use the faster locators in order to identify the web element. So for example, if we are using too many XPaths, try considering replacing the XPath with CSS locators or the locators, the unique locators such as ID, um, name, class name, which is unique. So it is absolutely fine that if you can't replace XPath for better reasons, you don't have to replace. But when there is a chance, you should consider replacing the XPaths because XPath locator strategy takes lot time to identify the web element compared to other strategies. This is one way you can reduce the execution time of test suite. Uh, that is one thing, and what the other thing is by changing the timings. So yeah, it is explained later. So the second one is review the test cases again and eliminate the duplicate test cases. So out of 500 test cases, probably you may need to review the test cases once again and eliminate the duplicates. And you can create atomic test cases. So wherever possible, instead of having a test case which is coupled to with too many conditions, coupled with too many other test cases, try to simplify them and create smaller test cases so that they will be executed faster. And review the wait strategy. So in your test cases, you would have used waits for synchronization. You may need to review that again and see when you are using implicit waits, try to avoid them and replace them with the explicit waits or fluent waits and drop out uh, any places where you are waiting till the images are loaded. Don't wait for the images to be loaded completely if the web page is having images. So try to avoid it. Instead, proceed with the next action and use Chrome browser. If your test case is like it is executing using Internet Explorer, try to change the setup file so that it will be run on Chrome browser because it is the fastest browser, and try to use headless browser so that it will reduce the amount of execution time drastically. And again, it is still correct, you can go for parallel execution, and you can achieve parallel execution in many ways. So that is going to be the next question. So this is how uh, no, the candidate could have explained, but this is also the correct answer to certain extent. So after this, the panel has asked a question which is linked to the answer which is given by the candidate for the second question, which is parallel execution. So interviewer was asking about how do you do parallel execution? And the answer from candidate goes as this. She said that with the Selenium grid. So there is one thing to remember that the candidate is not too much experienced with the frameworks and Selenium. She's a sort of beginner between beginner and intermediate. That is why she may not be familiar with all the concepts, but this is how the answer gone. She said that with the help of Selenium grid, we can achieve the parallel execution. And the panelists have asked, like, have you worked with the Selenium grid? Then the candidate has to say that she didn't work on with the Selenium grid, but she knows in theory like how it happens. Like there is a host that needs to be configured, which will drive the execution, and it will control the uh, slaves or the submachines where the execution need to be taken. And through this way, you can execute not only parallel execution, but also you can execute the scripts in different operating systems and different systems. You can achieve the compatibility testing also. So that's how the explanation went on. But however, there are many ways that you can achieve parallel execution, not only with the help of Selenium Grid, but also in TestNG you can run the tests in parallel. You can run the classes in parallel. You can run the methods in parallel. So there are many ways like this also you can achieve parallel execution. Okay. Now moving on to the fourth question. The fourth question is about this is more to management or lead related stuff. Candidate has not explained that much clear because she is not into that much of experience. So the explanation goes as this: how do you rate a good or bad for performer? And this is up to individual how you are explaining. This is the explanation, and if you feel any other appropriate explanation, please do mention it in the comment so that we can get good answers for this question. And this is how the explanation goes. How do you rate a good or bad performer? So, hmm, there are many factors that we consider to rate the good performer and bad performer. So, it is like mm, you can't decide performance of a candidate just based on the recent progress. It has to be consistent across years. Some people will uh, do good performance at some point in time, but you have to actually identify a potential performer who is being consistent across all the years. Not like once in a while he does wonder, then he is not actually he is a good performer of course, but comparatively the other person who has been consistent is the good performer. So that is one aspect, and there are many aspects like this. So the good performer delivers it on time, and he plans very carefully, and he does lesser mistakes. And how do we say it? Okay, so this comes with experience. For now I'm not thinking too much about it. uh, I leave this explanation to individual. So please do comment on how do you do answer to this question. And moving to the fifth question, if someone is late to office every time and he keeps saying his reasons, how do you handle such resource? So again, this is similar to fourth question. It depends on experience and it depends on individual. There are many people how they handle this situation differently, and this is how the explanation can be. So if person is late and he's keep doing the same thing, so the explanation went on this with the panel, between the panel and candidate. So it goes like we'll try to warn the candidate to change his behavior, and even after certain warnings, if he is still late, you consider his contribution in the project, and different people takes a different approach. They will just leave it, and they'll adjust with this resource as he's a good performer though he is late to office. And the timing of late is also important, like he should not be late to the meetings though he is late to the offices. That is another factor you can consider and excuse him probably to certain extent, but you have to ensure that it is not sending a wrong message to other team members that you are lenient to this person. So try to keep educating this person that um, it is not only he, it is also affecting the culture of the team, how it is affecting. Try to change him. Even after this, if he keeps repeating the same thing, and though he is a good performer, this is a minus point. So this is something which you have to highlight, that this could impact his performance in the appraisal, because obviously there are other team members who are equally potential to him, but this factor will definitely keep him down during the performance. So that will keep a trigger for him to change his attitude towards this. And if still it continues to go on, it is better to release that person, as it is sending the negative impacts to the entire team. So you have to let the resource go on to different teams. So that is how the explanation could be. If you think otherwise, please mention it in the comments so that it will be helpful for others to answer this question. And let us move on to the sixth question. What is XML holder? So this is the same question which is repeated for the second round as well. Please watch the first round video for explanation. And seventh question is about, have you used collections? This is again same question what is there in the first round. So please refer to the first round. I'm not explaining again in the second round. Now the eighth question is about, how do you validate responses in Postman? So the candidate answers like, with the help of snippets, she's validating the responses in the Postmans, which is fine, and we can see it this way. So this is one sample API. I'm just running it to see it is giving the response or not. Okay, it is giving the response. Now under tests, you can have codes written to validate, what you wanted to validate for this API. So the fastest way is to just add the snippets. For example, if you wanted to validate the code status code as to be 100, 200, which is success, you use this snippet. And there are other snippets also in order to maintain a particular string is written in the response body, check for certain JSON value. So you can just have to click on these snippets and it will add as a stub under your test. Now let me run this one. And now let us see the test results. So here you have these snippets. Verify the status code is 200. It has done it. Status code is 200. It's a duplicate. So this is another way, not another way, same way. However, I have changed the message part over here. That's it. So there are other validations. It is doing schema validation. It is doing schema validation again using tiny validator and AJV, another JSON validator. So like this, this is how you can use snippets to verify the response in Postman. Please do refer to the other video if you wanted to understand how to validate the schema for certain API, which it is very helpful in fact. Okay, now let's move back to the other question, which is question number 9. Why did you choose Catalan as an automation tool for API testing, and why not Postman? So like I said, the candidate is having experience of API automation, but not using REST Assure tool or any other tools. She is experienced in using Catalan tool and also Postman as a tool for manual testing. So that is why this question for this candidate, like why do you choose Catalan? So panel wanted to understand like how the candidate is able to answer this question, so that if the candidate is able to answer this question, this means that she is thorough with uh, to such level that he is able to identify the difference and advantages between the tools. So that's why this question is about, and the explanation goes as this. And this is the candidate explanation. So she explained like uh, they choose the Catalan tool because it is giving a good reporting mechanism rather than Postman, and it is giving a flexibility where they can execute the test cases across different environments, test environments. So these are the major explanations, mm, then which eventually led to the next question. So the panel asked like, can't you execute test cases for different test environments in Postman? So the answer is yes, and he asked how you achieve it. Then the explanation goes as this, that in Postman also we have a place where we can maintain different test environments. Okay, by just switching the environment, here you can create a new environment, so you can add the environments, and here you can change different environments. So by choosing the right environment where you wanted to execute, you can control the execution across the different environments. So uh, that means obviously not just Catalan, even in Postman also it is possible that we can execute test cases with different test environment. So the previous explanation said like Catalan is giving the capability of tests in different environment, and that's why she has chosen Catalan, which seems to be not correct after discussing with the 10th question. Okay, now about the reporting mechanism. So, candidate said Catalan is offering a reporting mechanism which is missing in Postman. So then the candidate panel has asked like, really can't we do reporting in Postman? And then we have to revise the answer like, yes, in Postman also we can achieve reporting through Newman implementation. So even reporting is achieved in Newman, but so that means both the answers which are explained in ninth question seems to be not correct as reasons for choosing Catalan over Postman. All right, but still they are still correct answers because the reporting which you achieve through Newman is nowhere compared to the reporting which is offered by Catalan. So that is how the explanation should go. But candidate didn't answer this way. She just agreed with that fact, and which led to a discussion to the final question, which is how Catalan is better than Postman. Candidate is not able to answer this question because she has explained what she knows in ninth and 10th questions. But the explanation should go this way. Reporting is definitely better in Catalan, though there is a reporting mechanism in Postman using the Newman implementation. All right, to that time. And there are other factors also which Catalan is taking an edge over Postman, such as Catalan is offering different automation solution and a cat, but which is not offered by Postman. It is just for API testing. So that could be one more answer. And also it depends on how your framework is supported by Catalan and how you wanted to see. Catalan is a better tool, not Postman. So that entirely depends on how you are implementing or planning to implement Catalan. And Catalan has better plugins and integration with many other tools. Even Postman also has integration with the CI/CD pipelines, but Catalan has more integration capabilities available. So that's why Catalan is a better option than Postman. So that's how the question answer should be for this. Hope that's all about this managerial round. And irrespective of the answers, the candidate is selected for this round as well because I think it's just he wanted to tease the candidate with these questions. But to her experience, I believe she is fit for this position, and that is why she is selected into for this round as well, irrespective of the answers. Okay, that's all about this video. If you like this video, please like it, share it with your friends if it is helpful for them also, and please do subscribe for more videos like this. And thank you for watching. And last not the least, please refer to this blog, which is 4verstyles.blogspot.com. I'm maintaining these interviews over there also, along with other automation tutorials. And if you wanted to have a mock interview, please write to me over this email, sharetesttube@gmail.com. I will try to find a panel who are having that experience which you are looking for. So that is all. Thank you. If you like this video, please like it and share it to your friends. Also, if you wanted to see more content like this, please do subscribe to this channel and also spread the word to your friends. And if you miss any of the videos, you can refer to this channel and also you can refer to this blog which is given below, which is forwardstyles.blogspot.com. And also, if you wanted to contribute your knowledge through wider audience, you can join us by writing it to this given email, which is sharetesttube@gmail.com. And also, if you have any doubts on any of the videos, again, you can write to us over sharetesttube@gmail.com. Thank you for watching this video.